The worst Leroy Jethro Gibbs episode from NCIS. Origins, continuing a recent trend, in some ways encapsulates the reasons why the flagship series has been having narrative issues. Both Mike Franks Camp Pendleton team and Alden Parker's Major Case Response Team MCRT will return for new episodes in CBS Premier Procedural Universe following its required winter break. This is the first time the flagship supplemental show is a prequel, which makes a crossover challenging given the timeline, even though the NCIS franchise has been around for more than 10 years. Nevertheless, comparing the two tales can occasionally be enlightening. The flagship has been attempting to reinvent itself since Mark Harmon left in Season 19 of NCIS. Parker is more approachable to his agents than Gibbs, which initially made veteran members Tim McGee and Nick Torres uneasy. Gibbs must be at the heart of NCIS. Origins' premise as its parent series moves on from its former poster character. This was true for most of its previous run, but in 2025, things have changed a bit, as the prequel has produced 2 episodes in a row that marginalize him. In Touchstone, Episode 12 of NCIS, Origins, Kowalski, the custodian of NIS, is the main focus. The case begins when he enters his office, which is rife with evidence and case files. After 25 years in the organization, Kowalski is devastated, but it also brings back memories of his wartime days. The character is the primary focus of NCIS. Origins for the next hour, with the remainder delving into the actual events. Although Gibbs is partnered with Lala Dominguez, his presence in this episode is essentially meaningless. Without him, the plot would still develop as it does. NCIS. Origins Episode 12 is the worst Gibbs appearance to date for a show that is meant to be his birthplace. It is, nevertheless, one of the more interesting plots the prequel has developed. Kowalski's excursion comes after an episode that focuses on Franks and includes flashbacks to his Vietnam War experiences. At least then, though, Gibbs has a close relationship with his boss, one that has persisted for many years including during NCIS. But for now, Kowalski has nothing to do with him. Even though NCIS, Origins misrepresented its premise, Gibbs and his story continue to be the show's primary attraction. Some aspects of the character's past that were established but not fully developed in the original show have been expanded upon in this one. Beyond his narrative, though, it's remarkable that NCIS. Origins can develop interesting storylines for a character as little known as Kowalski. Meanwhile, for better or worse, highlights how NCIS narrative has gotten more ridiculous. In order to bust a mob, Jessica Knight and Nick Torres stage a fictitious wedding during the outing. Although the flagship has always included humorous elements in its narrative, primarily from the antics of its characters, it used to counterbalance these elements with more somber and even gutting tales. That is challenging to accomplish in formulaic cases, though. It has become tedious to take down a mob that isn't all that different from other similar entities. Although Torres goes undercover, the Baltimore Police Department twist ultimately adds nothing. Given its history, the flagship can create a character-driven and grounded storyline about a completely new character, just as NCIS. Origins was able to do. There were probably more goofy agents in the early days of NCIS, such as Gibbs literally slapping his people on the head or Tony DiNozzo making fun of McGee. But there was always a feeling that part of MCRT's work involved being exposed to the harsh realities of the outside world. Additionally, NCIS used to feature terrifying tales of Marines fighting or struggling after returning home. These days, it seems like the police could have handled some of the cases they take on. NCIS should return to the storytelling foundations that brought it such fame in the future. Present compelling weekly cases that advance the individual arcs of the characters. Given how significant their separation was in the NCIS Season 21 finale, it is unsettling to hear Knight and Jimmy Palmer converse without showing any signs of being bothered by how awkward it was. One can also concentrate on Parker's Lily case because it's a captivating mystery that might help viewers like MCRT's new leader.